Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Brittany and today I'm going to be doing a review of the Cosmo Air Light notebook paper. So if you've been waiting for this video just to see what my opinions are, just because I've reviewed a lot of notebooks in the past, I was really excited to hear about this notebook from Sarah Martinez when she announced it, and it is a new type of paper that is being made into a notebook right now by one shop that I know of, and that shop is Danica 58. So when this was announced last year, I think it was early fall is when she talked about it. I was so excited that there was something new out there. I mean, who doesn't get excited about that? Anyway, I finally jumped on it and bought it probably like a month or two later after she announced it. And I had to see for myself what was so awesome about the paper. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying I cannot get along with this paper. We clash. And to be honest, there's more pros than cons, but for some reason my cons seem to overpower the pros of this paper. And just so you know, in case you just don't want to hear what I have to say, you might want to leave now. But, you know, this is at no fault to the company who makes these notebooks or to the people who have been reviewing them or anything like that. This is purely my opinion. So let's get started. I first wanted to do some research. So it's taken me a while to actually, get onto camera to talk about it because I couldn't understand why I just wasn't getting along with it. It really could just be the fact that it's the timing. I love my Tomoe River notebooks still and my Hobonichi. I was really getting back into the groove with my Hobonichi cousin. And I don't know, this paper just wasn't hitting all the marks with me. So I made a list so that I could be a little bit more concise with this video. Let's talk about the pros. Pro one is that they come in so many sizes. You actually have A5, B6, B6 Slim, and Standard, which is rare, especially when they come this thick. Another pro is that it comes in dot, blank, and grid paper. The paper I have is actually dot. The dot is pretty light. Let me compare it to grid Tomoe River notebook. Here, I would say it's like a light gray, and it's non-obtrusive in my opinion. It's hard to show grid on camera, so I'm just going to explain what I think. It obviously may change for you. It does lie flat, which is another bonus. Tomoe River notebooks typically lie flat as well. This is the Hobonichi blank notebook, which also lies flat. The size I have right now is a B6. And I really like the thick notebooks. I've always liked thick notebooks, so you just have a lot to journal and write in. So her papers, like the options when it comes to the amount of papers in here, is slightly less than that of Nanami Cafe notebooks, which has been, I think, one of the only companies other than Hipponoto that actually has large bound Tomoe River notebooks. So it's around a little bit over $350, and which is slightly less than the 400 something of a Nanami Cafe notebook, which really, when you think about it, there's a lot of pages in here, enough to hopefully last you a whole year, unless you're an avid writer or an avid bullet journaler and write everything down. Then you may need to dip into another notebook. Another pro is that lighter fountain pens, inks, show better. Their properties actually show really well. So this one, I think this is a Robert Oster ink. but it's like a light bluish gray, and you could see it as if it's like black ink to me. It's lighter in comparison to black ink, so obviously, so it's not so like, it doesn't hit the eyes so fiercely. I don't even know how to describe that, but it's a really nice color, and you can see it really well in this paper. Even some of like my pinks, like here's another one. This is the Blue Night, Robert Oster. And here's another one of the Iroshizuku inks in my Custom 74. Obviously this paper works very well with fountain pens. I did do some journaling. You can see I'm just like all over the place in this notebook. But just to show you, like even some of my pinks show up really well on this paper. I do have some notes here. I looked up, Cosmo Air Light Paper, and there wasn't really that much on the internet, but what I did find is that it says that it's micro-coated, it's not overly smooth, categorized as high bulk book paper, longer than average drying times, great for printing and color rendition accuracy. And I highly agree with the color rendition accuracy because I could see more colors on this paper, which is it's really great in that sense. So moving on, another pro is that not only is it has some type of tooth to the paper, it's really great not just for fountain pens but also for those brush pens and those gel pens and any of those other pens that have like felt tips that you want to make sure they don't get frayed. This is great paper to use them on. It works so well with alcohol markers which is something I recently tested out. So here we go. Here's some alcohol marker example. I was just trying to draw something real quick, and look at that. It's almost like no bleeding, no bleed through. There's ghosting, which there's always ghosting when you have fountain pens. This is alcohol markers. So that's awesome. If you are an avid bullet journaler and you want to draw and all you have are like alcohol markers or like Tombow brush pens, I mean, definitely it will work on here. And that is something very unique with this paper. Like I mentioned earlier, there's more grip with the paper. However, I wouldn't go as far as it feeling like felt. Maybe that's just me, but it's just smooth. It's not as smooth as Tomoe River paper. Now that I'm moving into the cons, I don't think it's as smooth as Tomoe River paper. It's definitely thicker, so it's not as thin as Tomoe River paper, which means you don't get as many pages in a notebook. Also, watercolor. I do not like the way watercolor reacts on this paper. So let me show you those right here. It's chalky, and it feels chalky. It feels like you're gonna wipe it off, even though it doesn't move. But it feels chalky. I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. And it's hard to move the watercolor on this paper and to blend with other colors. So blending is so much easier on Tomoe River paper and not so much on the Cosmo paper, in my opinion. Drying time hasn't changed, so that's neither a pro or a con, or I guess it's more of a con than a pro. And I do find that this paper picks up a lot of oils from my hands, even when after I've washed my hands. As soon as I like touch something else and then touch the paper again, it picks it up, and then when I write over it, it shows, and I really don't like that. I don't know if I actually have example. Oh, right here. I was making a grocery list, and you can see how much my ink changes when there's like oil on the paper. It almost makes me feel like I need to wear gloves in order to write in this paper to feel satisfied. That's pretty much it. I just can't get along with this paper. I mean, I do like how the paper doesn't feel so much bright white, but it's not yellow either. It's like that nice, comfortable look. And then colors just pop off the page. So I feel like you could see more color with this paper. So these are some of my brush markers from the Brush Marker Pro Karen set. Try them on here. These are really juicy markers. It works well with like your stickers, of course, no problem there. And then certain inks show up so much better on this paper that I can't even see on Tombow River paper. Oh. It was this one, and it is a, it's not shimmering, I can't think of the name, but it's a Vinta ink, and you could see how it's going from this lighter turquoise blue to a darker blue, and it's just gorgeous. And then it kind of has a little bit of changing in the light. These are the things I've noticed, and for some reason I just can't finish this notebook. I feel like I need to give it some time. This is kind of how I felt with Midori paper after a while. It just wasn't working out for me, and I didn't touch Midori paper for a year or two. And this year, well, the end of last year, I opened it up again and started kind of playing around, and I like it. I like it now. I like the way that watercolor reacts on it, and I like being able to collage on it and have the ability to use fountain pens if I need to or want to. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I will demonstrate some markers just so that you could see as well in real time what happens. So this is a Tombow dual brush pen 772, and it's a really light pink, but I feel like it shows so much better on this paper than Tombow River paper. This one is even lighter, so let's see. It's very faint, but I could definitely see it. You might not be able to see it. Tombow 100. Alcohol marker, this one is BV13. It's so juicy, and you can see like the ombre of color. Oh, and it's so smooth, so smooth. Maybe I should just use this as a sketchbook. Let's try fountain pen. I find some fountain pens write really nice on this paper versus others. I have one of these Kokuyo gray highlighter, but it's like a chalk highlighter. Let's see. I have my Pentel brush pen. Here's one of my recent purchases of the Twisby in the rose gold and white. So this is the 1.1 Wow, this is the first time I've written in this notebook with this pen. And it doesn't seem like it wants to write in this notebook. But I've written in it with this one not too long ago. And I don't know, I just love how Tombow River paper, just how thin it is and how the ink lays on it. Although this is definitely different and also fun. It's just, I don't know, I can't love it. Something's wrong. Pelikan M600. Okay, so I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please make sure to give me a like and subscribe if you're new to my channel. This is the Cosmo Light Paper. If you liked any of my pros, then definitely check them out at Danica58 on Etsy. And yeah, so there's my review. That's that. I might revisit this. I'm sure I'm going to revisit this probably next year, later in this year. Right now, I am just obsessed with my Tombow River paper notebooks. And yeah, so I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!